All right, today I'm going to show you what I need to do to fix my GE Profile Space Maker microwave. I'm having a problem with this microwave now that when you open the door, it turns on without punching any numbers in or doing anything like that. Just a quick overview. I did a video on this microwave, I think back in somewhere around 2020. This microwave was purchased back in 2010. So today is October 14th, 2023. So this microwave is 13 years old right now. This is the second issue I've had with it. It's not a big deal. The first issue, like I said, was back I think around 2020. My wife told me this microwave was not heating up any food or water or anything. It just wasn't heating anything up. So I did do a video on how to fix that. So here it is again 3 years later. It's been working fine as far as heating everything up. Now I got the issue with the opening the door and it turning on. I don't have any complaints about this microwave. When I bought it back in 2010, this was a very expensive microwave. I think I paid over $1,200 for this microwave. Obviously, because it is the GE Profile series, it's the 36 inch. It has this just kind of dead space over here, this panel. It's 36 inch just because it matches the GE Profile cooktop, which is 36 inches wide. So that's the reason why it has that side panel right there. Anyways, I'm gonna try to do a really quick video and try not to talk too much. I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do. I'll show you the symptom here in a second, and then I'm not gonna show you taking every screw out. I'm just gonna try to hurry up and get to it, get to the point, fix it, and hopefully this will help somebody. All right, so let me show you what it's doing. So I come over here, everything's working fine, all the panels work fine. I'm not gonna punch anything in. Open it up. There it is, it's running. Running. All right, so let me see if I can get it not to run. I'm going to show you the tag on the inside in a second, but I don't want to do it while it's running. So let me get this unplugged, because that's the first thing we're going to have to do here before we do any repairs. We're going to unplug this, make sure there's no power going to it, and then we're going to get started taking all these panels off. All right, so I have the power disconnected now, so now it is safe to work on. I have a plug up top up here. I can just unplug it. If you do not have that, easy access to wherever the plug is, which wouldn't make sense to me, but if you don't, then you can just shut your breaker off and cut the appliance off that way. But I highly recommend you find the plug and you unplug it before you touch anything. Okay, so the good thing about this is we don't have to take this whole entire thing off the wall like I had to last time. Everything's going to be done by removing all these panels, and we can get to everything no problem doing it that way. So the first order of business here is we are going to take this panel off. There are two screws underneath here that we're going to take that bottom panel off. See if I can show you. All right, so we're going to take this screw off, and we're going to take this screw off just enough so this is flopping down. That's pretty nasty. So just enough so this is flopping down. All right, and then there's a screw right here in the middle that holds this panel on, and then we're going to pop this panel off. Okay, so I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. All right, so I had this panel taken down. You can go an extra screw if you need to, which is what I did. All right, just to pull it down enough, because this panel, got it off. You see it's off. This panel is gonna slide down and it just comes out. Okay, and one little trick, see how it's got these tabs? That's where it slides up, okay? And that goes in these tabs here. There's 1, 2, 3, okay? So you gotta put it in and slide it up. Now in this one, I had to open the door a little bit to get it off. So I just opened the door because this little plastic black that's all greasy and nasty, that goes behind the door. So you gotta have the door open, slide it down, you're off, you're good. Next step, we're gonna go up top. There is 2 screws up here, one here and one here. We're gonna take those out, and then we're gonna slide this vent to the left, and it's gonna come off. All right. So let's do that real quick. All right, I was able to take those 2 screws out. What I actually did was I just tilted it forward. I ended up not having to really slide it out at all. Open the door again, tilt it forward, and it came right out. Next step. I'm gonna take this off right here. To take the screen off, I'm gonna clean that. And then this screw right here is gonna come off because this holds this panel on. This panel, I think, slides up, but I'm not sure. We'll see when we get to it. Let me take this off. All right, I've taken the screw out for the panel. What we're gonna do is lift this up. Just a tip, if this door for some reason would be in your way, you don't have to take it off. But if this door was to be in your way, all it is, it's just held down by gravity. You can just take this door, pick it up. It's just held on by 2 pins right here. One here at the top and one here at the bottom. Just pick it up, lift it off. I mean, but I don't need to do that in my situation. All right, so here I am. Here's the panel. Gonna lift, just tap it on the bottom, lift up. There we go. Now I'm just gonna take this gently. We don't wanna tear any wires or put unnecessary pressure on any wires, but I think it's not too heavy. We can just let it hang there. Okay, so word to the wise. That's a capacitor, okay? If you touch the 2 ends of the capacitor for some stupid reason, if you know what a capacitor does, it stores energy, okay? So there's gonna be stored power in there. Be very careful. As in my last video, I noted there's also one in the back. If you somehow touch these 2 terminals together, you are gonna get zapped, and it could not end very well. So do not touch that at any cost if you do not have to. If you don't know what you're doing, don't mess with it. But we're gonna take this screw out and this screw out, and we're gonna slide this panel with switches right out of here, okay? So let me do that. Okay, so I have just taken this from the back. I've taken the 2 screws out. That's where they go, one there, one there. Carefully pull it out, okay? And by the way, these screws here were Torx screws. They're T20s. Of course, they mix it up because they don't want you messing with it. So here's the 3 switches. There's 2 there, 1 there. We want to make sure we get the wiring right when we put these back together. So if you need to take a picture or whatever, take a picture. Just make sure you don't mess them up. Okay, so I'm just going to disconnect all these real fast. All right, so now I've removed this. I've got the top one here, the middle switch and the bottom switch, all the wires right there. They are a little bit of a pain to pull off. You do got to use some force. Just be careful you don't break this by ripping the switches out. Hold on to these switches good, and then pull the wire out, pull the harness off. Okay, so here's the 3 switches, one on top, one on the bottom, and then, well, the one, I guess, middle, and then one on the very bottom. One little thing about these switches, here's the new ones. The numbers on these things don't mean anything. What I had to do to find these switches was I went to the GE website, typed in my model number of this microwave, and by the way, let me show you that really quick. You can see it. That's the model number of this microwave and when it was manufactured, September 2009. Okay, so just type in that model number on the GE website. And in my case, what happened was, it said the original part numbers on the switches were discontinued, but it gave you a part number underneath that. So with that part number underneath that, I wrote it down, and then I started getting on, obviously, the internet. And I did end up finding these on Amazon. I had to get them from 2 different companies. These 2 switches here, the red ones, by the way, the colors don't mean anything. And then this yellow switch here. I did have to get them from 2 different places on Amazon, but whatever. Amazon delivered them. I didn't have to worry about it. No running around. Easy peasy. All right, so I'm just going to take these switches out of here. There's a little tab right here. Just gently pry this tab up, and the switch is going to slide straight out. All right. So I'm going to need 2 hands for that. So hold on. All right, so I replaced all 3 switches. New ones are in. Here's the old ones. So I'm just going to reverse what I did to take this apart, and we're going to see how it works. So I'll be right back. All right, I got the switches in. So I know I just said previously to take these switches out to pry up on these tabs right here by the switch. It turns out there's a little tab right here in front, right there. Just slide that. It's a lot easier. That way you don't have to pry in the back and mess it up. So sorry about that. Just pry on that, it'll come right out. I didn't have any problem taking mine out the original way that I told you, but all right, so they're all back in. I'm gonna put this thing back together and see what happens here. All right, so this is all back together. One thing I just want to point out, I had no problem taking this apart the way I explained it. But I think it would probably be easier on this model if you took the 2 screws out on top of this vent up here, open the door, just pull the vent out, and that would make it slightly easier for this panel to slide down and pull out. Because like I say, there's a little lip on the back of this panel, and it does go slightly behind the door, and it does go slightly behind this piece, this vent right here. So if you took the vent out, make it a lot easier to get this off. That's the only thing I'd really say. And then the little thing with the removing the switches, just push that pin rather than try to pry out with a screwdriver from the back. Just push that little white pin over, slide the switches out. Those are the only 2 things that probably would make a difference. All right, so let's see if they fix this. Here we go. All right, not running. So I say we're fixed. See if this works. Let's just do 3 seconds. All right, shuts off. All the switches are working now. Does not come on. All right, and that is a fix. So hopefully this helps somebody. And any questions or comments, just leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try to answer anything that I may have missed.